lads and lasses, and welcome to the Talk Chelsea Show's first episode we are publishing right now. Hopefully, it will be successful, but I have no doubts. Chelsea fans are awesome, and I know he will help us. Now, there are a couple of topics we'd like to cover for today, but first, I'd like to say hi to my friends today. Joining me, Matt Huggins and Shane Guihan. Why don't two of you say hello?
Hi, yes, I'm Matt Huggins. You'll know me on the forum as Gianfranco Z. I'm very happy to be part of the first episode for the Talk Chelsea show. So over to Shane now for his introduction.
Yeah, I'm ShaneCFC to those in Talk Chelsea, and as Matt said, I'm very happy to be on the show for monumental occasion coming up. Champions League final, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you on the show, and I guess you already know us from our previous intro episode. So if you don't know a lot about us, you can watch that and learn. So the topics we'd like to cover for today are the Blackburn game we had, our transfers, and our recent transfer activity, the signing of Marco Marin, and our hopefully successful try to land Hulk. Then what will happen with Roberto in the end, how important Champions League is for Chelsea, our team that will be what will be playing in the final, and can we really do it? So first thing, we'll talk about the Blackburn game, a meaningless one as we missed out on the top four spot. But I think it was a decent game, and I'm happy to see the team win our last home game of the season. And it was lovely to see Hutch get a chance and to see Lukaku start.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that and say I was very happy that some of the younger players did play. But one thing I wasn't happy with um, was that Lucas Piazon,
Yeah,
our young Brazilian player,
Yeah,
didn't really get a chance.
I was
Um,
disappointed.
I was I was disappointed that Malouda played instead. I thought Piazon should play, but overall, it was job done. 3 points that we really expected. He had a nice goal from Morales and Terry. But like you said, Sean, it didn't really matter too much because Blackburn were relegated and we were in sixth. But like I say, nice to finish the season, the Premier League season, with a win. And yeah, Shane, do you have anything to add?
yeah. I was going to say that I was very disappointed to see Peas and not start, and Romeo as well, who I thought could play. But suppose maybe if Malouda and the likes of Malouda and Essien are going to leave, it was fitting that they got their last tribute. No, Malouda came off injured. I hope it'll be Malouda's last game in a Chelsea shirt. But yeah, I think I think it was as end of season games go. It was entertaining. I was impressed with Lukaku up front for his first start, and it's great. It's Sam Hutchinson is such an amazing story the way he came back from retirement, and it's great to see him start.
Yeah, amazing story for Hutch, and I'm really happy to him. And who knows, perhaps he'll be the next John Terry. Well,
Here's hoping.
hopefully not like Terry off the pitch, but on the pitch.
Yeah.
Not as controversial.
Yeah, I was happy also to see Lukaku play well, and I think he did well. His runs, I'm actually surprised by his dribbling. He seems to handle the ball well with his legs, with his feet. When you look at him, he's a big lad, and
Yeah,
you see him as a regular, well, as your regular Andy Carroll. But when he gets the ball, he's like a tank going on, barging through everybody, and his cross for JT's goal was great.
yeah. It was. I was very surprised to see a cross that quality from Idols. Thought of him as a big, powerful man up front, scores goals, but it's a great feature to his game that he can drift out wide and put in a quality cross like he did, and Terry benefit from it.
Yeah, it reminds me of Drogba, to be honest, with that, because, well, this season not that much because of Andre's tactics and then Roberto's tactics, but when Carlo was here, you would see Drogba drift out of the wing a lot and send those
Yeah.
crosses in, and he got a lot of assists that season. So I'm happy to see Lukaku also contributes to the team with his overall movement and not only goals. Well, I'm sad he didn't score, but what can you do?
Yeah. And it showed that Chelsea, even though it was an end of season game, they still kept possession well. 66% possession it was, and they really did dominate the game. The scoreline didn't reflect it. It would have been nice to see Lukaku maybe get a goal along with, Pease and it would have been nice to see Pease off the bench, and would have been nice to see Drogba and Torres get goals as well. But as end of season games go, it was a good one.
Yeah. Well, our whole season strikers haven't been able to show what they can do. And as we have four amazing strikers, but it's crazy that we don't have a regular one who is kicking ass week in week out.
It was fitting that a midfielder and a defender scored the goals to end the season.
Well, yeah, defines everything really, and we can see with Arsenal just how important it is to have an amazing striker.
Yeah.
So no injuries except Maluda. Hopefully he will make it into the final because our squad is already rather short, and he's not he's not Messi, but he would help. So moving on, we'll move on to transfers, and I'm happy with Chelsea's work now. To be honest, happy with signing of Marco Marin, especially because he's a young, talented winger who we didn't overpay like we usually do. What was the fee we paid for him?
I think it was about
6 million.
7.5 million or something like that.
It's
Yeah,
in it
Similar.
says on Wikipedia around 6-7 million. Yeah.
yeah, it's around 6-7 million for a young winger, and everybody knows that we are lacking true wingers right now. So it is a good transfer, really. And our recent activity was also related to Hulk, the Porto forward slash winger. And for me, he's an amazing player who has really high chances of being a massive success here.
Yeah. With Hulk, I think it seems like a lot of people think it's the transfer's nearly done, or he could come to us after his vacation. But then I think there was the Porto president said they still don't want to sell him. So I personally think this is going to turn into another Luka Modric saga. I don't want to see that. Obviously, no Chelsea fan does, but I can really see Porto holding us to ransom over this transfer, and I'm not looking forward to this summer if it's going to go on all year.
Yeah. I hope it gets done quickly as possible. I mean, if it's the fee is meant to be around 35 to 40 million, but like all you have to do is look at him. I mean, he's 16 goals and 21 appearances this season in the league. I know last season under AVB he had 23 and 26 goals. This is from a winger. He likes to cut inside. He's powerful. He's fast. He's strong. I just think he's the whole package, and his work rate is questioned. I know, but I just think he'd really be an incredible sign. I think his style of play is fitted for the Premiership.
I absolutely agree, and he's a rather unique player, to be honest, because whichever player you look at, he has certain weakness. But with Hulk, it's just he's strong, he's fast, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can assist, he can take free kicks, he can take penalties. He's really the full package, and reminds me of Cristiano Ronaldo really a lot.
Yeah, I think he has a bit of a temper problem as well. He was something like 10 games out in Portugal league games for fighting. But I'd question his work rate. If he's playing on that right hand side when we're playing against an attacking left back, will he track back and cover the runs? That's what I'd wonder.
Well, I guess he will. He will, because even when Porto play, he's in 4-3-3, so he has to track back there also. So I guess it would be something regular for him. So I don't know. I really hope we sign him because our front line really needs some improvement, especially in the wings. And Hulk is a man who can not only become an important player for us, but a key player who will lead the team. And I think he has also great marketing values. So let's hope we sign him.
I think
Yeah,
it's
well,
also important to try and add some more. I think it's key that we try and add a proper right back to our team, because I think that's an area that we've struggled with for a long time. It looks as though Drogba may depart in the summer, so we might need to get another striker and perhaps another central midfielder if SCN might be going, or he's not the same player. So, we just need cover really, and I think those areas as well as wingers. I'm not sure what you both think.
Well, I agree. I agree, and there will be major changes in the team, I believe, this summer. Hopefully, we will see some good players coming in. And to be honest with you, I would be disappointed if we signed players for something for I don't know 20 million, but for them to be like well like Lukaku. So they come here and sit on the bench while the same players play again, and I would be disappointed. But signings like Hulk, I don't know, Falcao, Modric, stuff like that. That's something that we really need. Two or three of them that would lift the team up.
Well, I think we need 5 or 6 new signings. I think um, cover is needed in defence. I think we could do with definitely with a right back, maybe a young right back or something to cover for Ivanovic. Oswinga should be sold. Um, Kalu should be sold. Maluda should be gone. I want to give Eskin another chance because of what he was, and I think with knee injuries it's a bit for him to come back. I think we need a traditional number 10, and Willian is linked. I don't know if he'll come. I can see him coming. We have Marin. De Bruyne is to come in as well. Um,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
I forgot about him. De Bruyne, an amazing player.
yeah, I think I wonder will we be sending maybe Marin or De Bruyne or Lukaku on loan? I could see possibly if Drogba leaves, I could see if they're going to put Lukaku on loan, I'd sign Hulk. Can use Torres and Hulk as both strikers, but if they just want to keep Hulk as a winger, I think they're going to need to bring in another striker. I think it depends who what the new manager wants to do and what plans he has for certain players really.
Exactly, but I think it's still too early to talk about transfers before. First we need to see the outcome of the final and then see what will happen with the manager.
Yeah.
And then the decision will be made. Just as Ron Gurley said, we are only focusing on Champions League, and after that we'll make the important decisions. So, but I agree mostly with you. We need backup in the defense. Our midfield needs to be strengthened. We need wingers, and with Drogba being 34, with Torres failing to ignite like we expect him to, it would mean also bringing a new forward in. So it will be a long summer for us, especially knowing how media like to keep us in their news headlines. There will be crazy fees mentioned, I'm absolutely sure. But in the end, I really hope we manage to sign a couple of brilliant players like we did with Mata at the beginning of this season. And we need to face it, we are not as strong as we have been in the past, and we need new players.
I think one of the main things, like you were saying, we need to see, because we can be linked to all these players, but if we don't win the Champions League, we're not playing in the Champions League next year. So it makes a massive difference who will come to us in the summer. If we're not playing in the Champions League, the bigger players won't want to come to us. But if we are, and if we've won it, then that will attract lots of players. So you really don't know, like you said, until the game's over.
Well, yeah, it's a really important game, but I think we can do it really. We are not favorites, but we haven't been favorites against Barca, so let's see what happens. But it would be wonderful if we could win because we'd make a certain team feel like idiots, though.
Yeah, I think the outcome of the Champions League final will reflect hugely on what we do in the transfer window this summer. I think even the Hulk situation, he sees bigger teams in the Champions League want him. Why would he come to Chelsea in the Europa League?
Exactly,
And it
especially.
could also,
No, go.
I'd even go, I'd even go as far as to say it could reflect our chances of getting a top 4 spot next season if we don't win either with the players. We can't bring in the players.
Yes, and I think we made a massive mistake by not making major overhaul later before getting into this bad run of results like previous summer and the summer before. Now, when we are ahead of this massive transfer saga we are about to enter, we have a risk of missing out in the Champions League, and we need to bring amazing players. But if we miss out on Champions League, as you said, they won't come, and we can lose them, and it can get a bit problematic for us.
I hope that shows on Saturday as well that the players that really they're fighting for the future of Chelsea in the next few years as well as the Champions League trophy. Like it's a massive game, massive game.
Yeah, because we have a chance to write the biggest chapter in the history of the club. It would be the biggest achievement ever if we win it.
With one of the worst Chelsea teams since 2003.
Exactly. Playing against a deadly German team that plays at home after surviving through two matches against Barcelona, it would be something really like in fairy tales.
It would be an amazing scenario. You still talk about us being in the final, but sometimes I forget. I still think that Barcelona beat us 3 or 4-0 on
Exactly.
aggregate, and I'm just going to watch it. Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. It'll probably hit me when it starts, but at the moment it's still unbelievable that we actually made it there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's only really sunk in today and yesterday for me that like on Saturday we are playing in the Champions League final. It's amazing. Who would have thought it from the start of the season, even in February after the West Brom game when AVB was sacked, that we would be competing in the Champions League final, and not just competing, but we have a good chance to win it. It's not like we're going out against like United were last year, that like they said they could do it. Really, no one could really see United doing it. We have a great chance to win this on Saturday.
exactly. And as you guys said, I also find it difficult to believe we are actually playing in the final and that we have a realistic chance of winning it. It's amazing. After such an awful season we managed to get back on track, win the FA Cup, reach the Champions League final, beat Barcelona, keep what people say is the best player ever at bay, to keep him to keep him away from our goal, not to score, and it's something amazing, really, something.
Another thing I think that should be mentioned in that run is we kept Napoli's front three scoreless in Stamford Bridge for 120 minutes of football. The Lavezzi, Cavani, and Hamšík.
Oh yes, we also did that. One of the most lethal attacks in the world. But let's face it,
Great.
we are also a club that has one of the best defenses in the world. With AVB, it wasn't working so well due to his tactics, but when Roberto came, it really worked well. But it's Cahill, Ivanovic, Terry, Luis, Ashley Cole, Bertrand is great. Then you have Ivanovic who plays on as a right back. It's a real good one.
It is. It's a very solid defence. It's really worked well because you can see all the players really want to play well for Di Matteo, and I think that's the key. The spirit has been there, the teamwork, the enthusiasm. I think that's really what's seen us through this far. It's just the sheer determination to win and just to pull together. I mean, a lot of people will say it's not the nicest way to win football, and if we do win the Champions League on Saturday, of course we won't be the best team in Europe. I think far from it. Finishing sixth in our own domestic league and um, this sort of thing. But I think it would just be the sheer determination and willpower to basically to win it. That's what saw us through against Barcelona, and I think the only thing that will see us through against Bayern Munich as well if we do it.
Yeah, look, we didn't beat Barcelona because their ability to outpass them and hold the ball better than them. It was great. But saying about the defenders, I love all our defenders except for Boswinga.
He's a liability,
Oh, Bosingwa, don't get me started, please.
but
He just,
he'll probably be
uh,
starting the final though. I'd imagine.
yeah, he will. But like when a footballer, especially, I presume when he was younger, probably played as right winger. When you're growing up playing football at the age of 11, 12 to 17, 18, why did no one teach him to cross the ball? It's like, did he come to Chelsea on the training ground, try to cross the ball, and to resume all the lads went over to him and like, do you not know how to cross the ball? And he was just, I have to cross the ball, I have to cross the ball, and
I
that was
think the
ridiculous.
strange thing with Bosinga is that he seems when he's at right back, he has no
No
tactical
clue.
awareness of where he is, his positioning. But when he plays centre back or right midfield, he seems like he's doing his positioning's fine. But when he plays right back where he's supposed to play, he's everywhere,
Yeah, he
and
was
that's
also
that one thing that worries
great
me.
as a left back a couple of times. He
Against
pressed.
Messi. He man marked Messi in '09, and he was brilliant over the two legs, stuck to Messi like glue.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
You could have any mediocre championship winger could tear him inside out like nowadays.
What can you do?
I would honestly give my right arm for Ivanovic to be starting the final.
Oh yeah, him and Ramirez would increase our chances drastically. I'm really
Ram-
disappointed, especially for Ivanovic, but what can you do?
Rambo's a huge loss.
Yeah,
I think Ramirez is our biggest loss.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I mean, I don't know if I can, but I sort of move it along to Bayern Munich themselves. I think you watched the highlights, Shane, earlier, which was the 5-2 mauling by Borussia Dortmund, and one of I think their main things was their inability to defend on the counter attack because obviously Dortmund play very quick
Yeah.
football, and I think we if we had Ramirez, I think they'd struggle massively with Ramirez, his pace and just the way he gets up and down. And I think he's going to be our biggest loss on the day.
yeah.
Yeah, look,
I
if you're
agree.
looking from the Barcelona tie, we scored 3 goals. Two of them were counter attacks that in Stamford Bridge Ramirez burst through on the counter attack and set up Drogba. The second one was Lampard played in Ramirez twice. The second time Ramirez chipped Valdez, it's counter attack. Ramirez is a huge asset, and I really think he would counter the threat if we started on the right hand side. Philip Lam wouldn't get much glory because Ramirez is brilliant at tracking back
Yeah,
and
he
defensively.
really is a massive loss. But not only that, he was a key player for us this season along with Mata. And if we didn't bring him here a year ago, 2 years ago, how much was it? It
Seven, it
was
was 20 million or around that, wasn't it?
yeah, something like that. So he has developed into an amazing player. I was doubtful at him at the beginning, but right at the moment he's amazing.
Credit must be given to Carlo Ancelotti for signing him.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, but it's a shame he's going to miss the final. But Bayern Munich will be weakened also, so we may have a
I
chance.
think they're missing Al
Uh,
Bala. I can't say his name.
Luis
Alba,
Gustavo and Franz Stuber.
That's Subo and Gustavo. Yeah. So I mean they're going to have some problems defensively,
Yeah, defensive
which I think is
problems
going to
and
be our
still.
biggest thing.
with a makeshift defence up against which will probably be Didier Drogba. It's new because let's look at it. They had their first defence out on last Saturday and they conceded 5 goals.
Yeah, but who knows what can happen? It's a huge match, and the huge matches can sometimes be decided by even the dumbest shot in the game, even by the smallest mistake. Who knows? Perhaps the pressure will eat out Bayern Munich players. That can also happen. Perhaps the stadium they will feel the pressure playing on their own stadium, but things not going their way. So who knows what can happen? I would say they are favorites, of course, but we weren't favorites against Barcelona yet. Here we are. So who knows?
I think Bayern Munich probably gonna they might operate a bit defensively, that they might sit deeper and because they are very good, they will be very good in the counter attack. So I think it's important that if Bayern do sit deep and if they do invite pressure onto us, that we don't overcommit. And the likes of David Luiz doesn't go gallivanting up forwards on mazy 40-yard runs and leave
Oh
a huge
God,
gap in
yeah, I
front.
forgot about that.
My legs shake every time he does it. It's crazy. But
Once you see that big Afro head gallivanting up forward, it's just like here we go again. But then at the same time, he can go gallivanting up forward and stick it right in the corner like he did against Leverkusen earlier in the season.
Yeah. Oh God,
well, I
that's a
hope
good
he
point.
goes again and stucks it into the corner of Neuer's net. But it would be really amazing if we win it. Something to remember, and I will be happy for Roberto also because he has done a phenomenal job since taking over, and I would be happy to have him for a couple of years and to give him a chance. I'm not 100% on him. How would he rebuild Chelsea? What would his formation be? His philosophy and things like that because he's not that experienced in terms of management, but he has definitely shown that he can restore the faith the team, motivate them. He usually pick the great tactics for the important games. So I think we don't need to bring anybody else. We should just keep Roberto.
I'd like to give him a 1 year contract. If I think we should anyway, but I think we should give him 1 year only because,
Yeah,
like you said, there is a risk that he's up. We win the Champions League. He's our manager next year, and then we completely capitulate, and we our league form is poor. I think he's a good cup manager, but we don't know how good he will be in the Premiership.
yeah. As I said,
So
Yeah,
it's a risk,
it's a
but
big.
I'm.
There's
I
one
would.
name that I sort of quite liked, which was Fabio Capello. I'm not sure what you both think about that, but I think he'd be quite a safe bet for a manager for maybe 2 years.
uh, I'm not a big fan of him. But he's a, he knows what he wants. He has his things set out straight. He's a good, authoritative manager. And yeah, as you said, it would be a safe bet, I think, at least for the league, because he would grind out the top four finish. I'm pretty sure of that. And it's just it's difficult to pick out somebody now because I don't know. Guardiola is a risk. It's like everybody is a risk with
I
Mourinho
would be.
not being available.
I'm at the stage where I would be devastated if Di Matteo didn't get the job, even if we lose on Saturday. I think just look at the players, they love him, the fans love him, and I disagree with giving that Matt's point and giving him a 1 year contract. I think if we are going to rebuild, I think you have to give him at least a 2 or 3 year deal, and I think he deserves it for what he's done. He saved our season. He just look at the videos from the Barcelona game and the fans and the players. Like no one would have thought that was possible. I think it's all down to him. I think that if AVB stayed, we would have probably got knocked out by Napoli in the second leg, and we possibly could have finished in the top four. But I really do think that Di Matteo should get the job on a 2 or 3 year basis, and it's a risk. Um, but even when he was managing West Brom, got some great results against the top four, and he had them safe, which is all they wanted, really. I think that tactically, he's a very smart man. He's a Chelsea legend. I can't. If he wins the Champions League, he has to get it. It's no. I think right now there is a lot of pressure on the board to give him the job from Chelsea fans and players.
I agree with you.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I was going to say, unfortunately, we know though that it won't be that easy. Like you said, I'd love to give him the job like now. If I could, I'd give him it right now and say, but what the boss is like with appointments and things like that.
Yeah.
With a lot of people said the same thing about Avram Grant. He got us to the final. He got us to within the last day of winning the Premier League against Man U. The same could have argued said he could be the manager as well. So it's the same thing really. You never know if Roman Abramovich will say I want this person or yeah I'll have him. We don't know what he's thinking because the horrible thing is it is horrible for some of us that it's his say and none of us can really do anything about that.
Yeah. Who knows what's
Yeah,
going on behind the scenes?
but I think the difference. But I think there's two things to your point. Avram Grant had a far. I think he had a far better squad. He had players in his prime, and I think there's insight about that. Steve Clark was more the manager than Avram Grant. The other thing about hiring Roberto Di Matteo is it's just I know I think an analyst on Sky, I think it was Jamie Redknapp or someone mentioned that did Roman Abramovich sack AVB, and did he line up a replacement to take charge in the summer? And what does he say to that replacement now that if he lined him up, can he was it has he already lined someone up for the summer before? Like no one could have seen Di Matteo did do this well. That's what I'd wonder. That did he line someone up already for the job?
I'm sure that he must have talked to different candidates. I'm sure he must have done, because I think we all assumed when he came in, we all thought, well, Di Matteo will see us through to the end of the season, and then we get someone else. Because if you asked every Chelsea fan on the forum um, when he came in as the interim manager, will he be the manager next year? Everyone probably would have laughed and said, no way. He's so he might have interviewed people, but then again we don't know. Like Shonek said, we don't know what happens behind the scenes.
Absolutely. We'll see. We'll see. I think a lot depends on our game in the final. And I'm always the optimist, so let's see what happens. But I'm hoping that he gets the job because he has done phenomenal work so far. And I don't know, it would be very sad if we signed a new manager, kicked out Roberto, then the new manager fails to ignite everything and going out through transition all over. And
Back to square one again.
just seek out of things like that, you know?
My personal thing is Carlo Ancelotti should have never been sacked, but that's
Oh,
neither
I
here nor
know.
there at this stage.
That was
Absolutely.
disgraceful.
That really was.
I don't think there's any point in getting into that now at this
No,
stage.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if? What if? But it was a mistake. What
So
to do?
for the Champions League final, then what are your score predictions?
Oh, that's a difficult one. Uh,
Decisions,
um,
decisions.
um, I think the match can go two ways. If they score an early goal, it's going to become difficult for us because I'm not sure if we can break them through. But it can end like 2-1, 1-1, and or go through extra time. And but I kind of have a feel it will be extra time, to be honest.
I,
Shonex, we need an answer. What's it going to be?
It's
what's it
going
going to
to
be?
be 1-1, and it's gonna go down to penalties,
Oh,
Who's going to
no.
win?
and we're gonna win it on penalties.
Win it on
Wow.
penalties. That's a bold prediction there, Sean.
There you
Um,
go.
I just have a feeling in my mind that Frank Lampard is going to do it. That he's going to step up and he's going to give the performance of his life. And I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea, Lampard double.
Oh,
Well,
nicely said.
I'm going to be the pessimist here, and I'm going to say Bayern Munich are going to win 2-1.
No, don't say
Ah, no,
that.
I'm
aye.
Come on,
sorry.
man, don't do it.
My heart says we'll win 1-0 and Drogba will score, but my head says we'll lose 2-1, and but Drogba will still score. So
Yeah, but
I put my house on Drogba scoring in that game. I really would.
but I'll tell you one thing. My grandma always said to follow your heart, not your head. So make sure you
Chelsea,
follow your heart.
Chelsea 1-0 is then.
Yeah, what?
I just really think Frank Lampard's going to step up and do it. I
I,
don't know why. I just
Crazy
do.
Irishman is right. I really hope, but when the match starts, I think my pulse is gonna triple and I won't be able to even get out of bed due to stress. It's crazy.
I'll be very drunk. I need to drink a lot. I'm nervous already. I've had to have a drink every day this week. I haven't been able to focus. I haven't been able to sleep properly. I just need to just relax.
I think I'm going to have to buy 3 boxes of cigarettes on Saturday.
Yeah, well, let's hope for the best. I think we have a chance, a good chance, not a huge one, but it's a chance. Unlike some clubs that failed to get out of the group stage.
Man United.
Oh,
City.
yeah, yeah. So who knows what happens? We surprised the world a lot of times this season, and I think we can do it again.
Look, when you look at it, we have more of a chance in this game than we did against Barcelona.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see what happens. I hope you, Shane, are right, and that Lampard will do it, but who knows? So that will be all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed spending your time with us for today. Make sure you like the video and share to your fellow Chelsea fans. This is only the beginning of what is about to come. We really want to do our best and give you something to look forward to every week.
I've really had a great time recording this. I really hope you've enjoyed listening to it, and I hope this is the first of many. So yeah, I've really enjoyed myself, and that's goodbye from me, Gianfranco Z.
Yeah. Look, all roads lead to Munich now at this stage, and the next time I'm talking to you all, I just hope it's Chelsea or champions of Europe. If not, I'm sure the show will still continue, and we can talk of what might have been, and just I can't even talk about goodbye.
Indeed. So next time you hear from us, I hope, as Shane said, that we will be the champions of Europe. Uh, Support us on Saturday and hope for the best. Thanks for listening, lads and lasses, and goodbye.